My husband and I stopped having intimacy the way most couples do it. And I want to be very clear, that was not the end of our intimate life. It was the beginning of the best chapter of it. I know that might sound strange, maybe even a little alarming. You might be wondering, what does that even mean? What is the normal way? And what exactly did they replace it with? Stay right here because I am going to answer every single one of those questions today. And I promise you, by the time we are done, you are going to look at your own intimate life completely differently. But before I get into all of that, I need to ask you something. Have you ever heard of what couples call the bathroom backshot? No? Yes? Maybe you have tried it and never had a name for it? Here is what I am talking about. Your husband standing behind you in the shower. Warm water running over both of you. The steam filling the room. Both of you completely relaxed. No pressure, no performance anxiety, no bedroom routine. Just the two of you, completely present in a space that feels entirely different from anywhere you have been intimate before. I am going to tell you exactly why this works so powerfully for men over 60. I am going to explain the science behind it, the safety behind it, and the reason my husband looked at me afterward and said, and I am quoting him directly, "Why did we wait so long to do this?" That story and everything connected to it is what today's video is built around. But first, and let me introduce myself properly because I want you to know who you are taking this kind of advice from. My name is Dr. Julia Rhodes. I am a men's sexual health therapist with over a decade of clinical experience working with men and couples navigating the very real, very common, and very treatable challenges of intimacy after 50 and 60. Before we go any further, if you are watching this and you are not yet subscribed to this channel, please do that right now. Hit the subscribe button. Turn on your notifications. This channel exists to give couples like you and your husband real, honest, research-backed information about sexual health, delivered without shame, without embarrassment, and without judgment. Now, let us talk about what normal really means, and why letting go of it might be the best thing that ever happened to your relationship. What does doing it the normal way actually mean? When most couples say they have intimacy the normal way, they are describing a very specific and very narrow script. It usually goes something like this. Some form of brief lead-up penetrative intercourse in one of 2 or 3 familiar positions in the bedroom at night in the dark, lasting somewhere between 5 and 15 minutes, ending with his orgasm. Maybe hers, then sleep. That script, that narrow, performance-driven definition of what intimacy is supposed to look like, is something most couples have never consciously chosen. They inherited it from culture, from media, from the assumptions of their younger years when everything happened quickly and easily, and the body cooperated without much thought. But here is the problem. That script was written for a 25-year-old body, and it was never updated. So, when the body changes, and it does change as it is supposed to, as it must, that rigid script becomes a trap. It becomes the standard against which everything is measured. And when reality no longer matches the script, people do not question the script, they question themselves. The man thinks, something is wrong with me. The woman thinks, he no longer wants me. And the intimacy, which was always about so much more than penetration and performance, quietly disappears. Research bears this out in painful detail. 1 in 3 couples stop being intimate entirely between the ages of 60 and 65. By the time they reach 70 to 75, that number climbs to 2 in 3. And in most cases, it is not because the desire is gone. It is because the script stopped working and nobody gave them permission to write a new one. Today, I am giving you that permission. Now, I have to pause here for just a moment because everything I am sharing with you today, the positions, the research, the personal insights, these are pieces of a much larger puzzle. And I know that feeling you get one piece of information here, another somewhere else, and you're still left wondering, but where do I actually start? What do I do first? How do I put all of this together? That is exactly why I created something special, and I want you to know about it. I put together a complete program, a full step-by-step guide built specifically for men over 60 and their partners. Not a collection of random tips, not a list of things to try, a genuine hand-holding journey from the very beginning to the very end. It starts with fixing the foundation, erection and performance issues that are quietly blocking everything else. Then it moves into the techniques that make a man an exceptional, confident lover after 60. And then, and this is the part most programs completely ignore, it addresses how to bring your partner to the same level of desire as you. Because intimacy is never just one person's work. It takes two people who are both fully present, both fully engaged, and both moving in the same direction. This program pieces the entire puzzle together, every single piece, so that by the end, nothing is missing. Nothing is left to guesswork. You know exactly what to do, exactly how to do it, and exactly in what order. I made a full video walking you through everything the program covers. And that video is pinned in the comment section right below this video and linked in the description as well. Go watch it after this. I promise you, if today's video felt like opening a door, that video is what is waiting on the other side of it. The link is right there, pinned comment, video description, you cannot miss it. What is actually happening to the body and why normal no longer serves it. Let me give you the clinical picture, because understanding the body is the first step toward working with it rather than against it. For men over 60, several significant shifts occur that directly affect the way intimacy unfolds. Testosterone declines gradually from the mid-30s onward. By the 60 seconds, many men are operating with significantly lower levels than they had in their prime. This does not eliminate desire, but it quiets it, makes it less urgent, less automatic, more relational. A man over 60 often needs emotional closeness, warmth, and the right environment to access his desire. The old, on-demand arousal of his younger years is simply no longer the way his body works. Erections change. They take longer to develop. They require more direct stimulation. They may not be as firm. And performance anxiety, the fear that the erection will not come or will not last, creates a self-fulfilling cycle that many men spiral into silently and alone. The refractory period extends. After orgasm, a man in his 60 seconds may need many hours before he is ready again. This is biology, not failure. For women over 60, the body has its own changes. After menopause, estrogen levels drop significantly. This can cause vaginal dryness, making traditional penetrative intercourse uncomfortable or even painful without proper preparation. The desire is often still there, but the body's readiness is different, slower, more conditional. Now here's the critical insight that most couples never receive. When both partners require more time, more warmth, more environment, more emotional connection before their bodies are ready, that is not a problem to be solved. That is an invitation to a completely different and arguably far richer form of intimacy. Couples who stop fighting these changes and start working with them consistently report something remarkable. Their satisfaction actually increases. Research from the National Institute on Aging confirms that many older couples find greater satisfaction in their intimate lives than they did when they were younger, because they have fewer distractions, more privacy, more time, and a deeper ability to communicate what they want and need. The body is not failing, the script is failing, and there is a difference. The night my husband and I let go of normal, let me tell you what it actually looked like in our marriage. We did not have a dramatic conversation about it. There was no crisis moment, no tearful breakthrough. It was quieter than that, more gradual, the way most real things are. What I noticed first was that my husband had started approaching intimacy with a kind of careful tension that was not there before. Like he was managing something. Like there was a part of his mind always slightly elsewhere, always monitoring, always waiting to see how his body would respond. That presence, the ease and confidence that had always made intimacy feel natural between us, had quietly been replaced by something that felt like held breath. I recognized it because I had seen it in my clinical work. I had sat across from dozens of men who wore that same expression, the one that says, "I want this to go well. I need this to go well. Please, body, cooperate." And one evening, I made a decision. I did not bring it up as a therapy session. I did not sit him down and explain what I was observing. I simply changed the environment. I suggested we shower together, something we had done before, but never as the main event, never with intention, never with the understanding that this was not the warm-up for something else. This was the thing itself. And in that bathroom, with the warm water and the steam and the complete absence of the bedroom and the bed and all the psychological weight that had attached itself to those spaces, something shifted. He relaxed, genuinely, physically, visibly relaxed. And from that relaxation, everything else followed naturally. That was the night we stopped doing intimacy the normal way, and it was without question the best decision we ever made. The bathroom back shot and the science behind why it changes everything. Let me come back to what I teased at the beginning, the bathroom back shot. The shower intimacy that so many couples have either never tried or tried once without fully understanding why it works. Here is the clinical explanation and then the personal one. The environment effect. Research on sexual novelty is clear and consistent. Couples who change their environment experience significantly higher levels of arousal, connection, and satisfaction. A study published in the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology found that couples who engaged in genuinely novel experiences together were dramatically more likely to initiate intimacy. The brain responds to new environments by releasing dopamine, the same chemical associated with excitement, reward, and desire. The bedroom for most long-term couples has become deeply associated with routine, sleep, screens, stress, and a script that has been repeated so many times it has lost its charge. Moving intimacy out of the bedroom and into the bathroom introduces novelty not just physically, but neurologically. The brain wakes up. The body follows. The warm water effect. Warm water has a direct physiological effect on the body that is enormously beneficial for men over 60. It relaxes muscles. It dilates blood vessels. It lowers cortisol, the stress hormone that is one of the most reliable killers of sexual performance. And for men whose erections are partly affected by blood flow and anxiety, warm water creates exactly the internal conditions that support rather than hinder arousal. The standing position and why it helps. In the bathroom back shot, both partners standing, her leaning slightly forward with her hands against the wall for support, him entering from behind. The physical mechanics work powerfully in his favor. The standing position naturally engages his pelvic floor muscles in a way that seated or lying positions do not. This mild automatic engagement of the muscles responsible for ejaculatory control means he has more natural regulation without conscious effort. The angle of entry from behind, combined with the slight lean forward on her part, allows for controlled, shallower thrusting, which reduces the speed of stimulation buildup and gives him a longer runway before reaching the threshold of ejaculation. The wall provides stability for both of them, which is critical for safety and comfort for couples over 60. There is no need for gymnastics, no risk of imbalance, no strain on joints. The environment itself does most of the structural work, the psychological effect. Perhaps most importantly, the bathroom removes the performance stage. The bedroom, for a man who has been experiencing performance anxiety, has become a place of evaluation, of expectation, of watching himself. The bathroom carries none of that weight. It is familiar but different, relaxing but exciting, private but adventurous. When the performance pressure drops, the body responds the way it always wanted to, with presence, with pleasure, with connection. Safety tips for couples over 60. Because I am a clinician and I care about you actually being able to use what I share, a few practical notes. Always use a non-slip mat on the shower floor. This is non-negotiable. Wet tile is a genuine safety hazard, especially for older adults. Use a silicone-based lubricant. Water, despite the impression it gives, actually washes away natural lubrication. Silicone-based options are water-resistant and essential for comfort. Keep the water temperature warm, but not hot. Extremely hot water can cause dizziness and drop in blood pressure, particularly for men on certain medications. If your shower has a built-in bench or ledge, use it. Having her sit on the bench while he stands, or having him seated while she straddles, these variations reduce physical strain while maintaining all the benefits of the environment change. Start slowly. The goal is not a performance. The goal is presence, warmth, and connection. Let the environment do what it does naturally. What non-normal intimacy actually looks like. The bathroom is one door, but there are many. When my husband and I decided to stop limiting intimacy to one narrow script, we did not just move rooms. We expanded our entire understanding of what intimacy could be. When the goal is no longer an orgasm or a specific physical outcome, when the goal becomes presence, pleasure, and closeness, something remarkable happens to both partners. The pressure dissolves, the body relaxes, and in that relaxation, depth of connection becomes possible. That performance-focused intimacy often blocks. The power of slow touch. Research on non-sexual physical contact between older couples reveals something extraordinary. A national longitudinal study tracking over 950 couples with an average age of 71 found that the frequency of affectionate touch between partners, holding hands, back rubs, lying close, predicted increases in relationship satisfaction, life satisfaction, and mental health over a 5-year period. Read that again. Touch, not necessarily sexual touch, predicted measurable improvements in mental health over 5 years. For couples over 60 who feel that intimacy has become conditional on performance, this is liberating news. You do not need an erection. You do not need a specific outcome. You need touch. Intentional, consistent, unhurried touch. And everything else either follows naturally from that or doesn't need to. Changing locations beyond the bathroom. The bathroom was our starting point, but the principle that novelty of environment reactivates desire applies everywhere. The living room, the kitchen, a hotel room for a night even in your own city, the backseat of the car on a quiet road at night. Anywhere that is not the bedroom and its accumulated associations is a potential reset for your intimate life. Research confirms this clearly. Couples who deliberately move their intimacy to new environments report significantly higher levels of arousal and emotional connection than those who maintain a fixed location. The brain is novelty-seeking. Give it something new, and it responds with the chemistry of excitement. The role of conversation. Here is one of the most clinically powerful forms of intimacy that couples almost never think of as intimacy. Honest conversation about intimacy. When a couple can sit together and say openly and without shame, "Here is what I need, here is what I want, here is what I have been afraid to say." The vulnerability of that exchange creates a closeness that no physical act alone can match. Most couples who stop being intimate do not stop because of physical inability. They stop because of silence, because one partner is too embarrassed to admit what is changed, because the other is too afraid to ask. Because the script says intimacy should happen naturally, without discussion, without vulnerability, and when it does not, there is nothing to fall back on. The couples I have seen transform their intimate lives most dramatically were not the ones who found the best position or the right lubricant. They were the ones who finally talked. The gift on the other side of normal. I want to share something that I believe is the real heart of this video. When my husband and I let go of the normal script, we did not just improve our physical intimacy. We discovered something in each other that years of habitual routine had quietly buried. We discovered curiosity, the willingness to ask what the other person wanted and actually wait for the answer, to try things that felt slightly outside our comfort zone. Not because they were wild, but because they were new. And new things require presence. And presence, it turns out, is the most intimate thing of all. We discovered tenderness, the kind that comes from slowing everything down until there is nothing left but the two of you and the warmth between you. No performance, no destination, just being. We discovered laughter, real, spontaneous laughter in moments of intimacy, something I had not realized we had stopped having. The shower, the new positions, the fumbling with the silicone lubricant while the water was running, All of it gave us back something playful that the routine had slowly, invisibly taken away. And we discovered depth, the kind of emotional connection that decades of marriage can build, but that routine and habit and the weight of ordinary life can just as easily bury. It was there all along. We just had to stop doing things the normal way to find it. This is what I want for you. Not a technique, not a position, not a room of the house, a return to each other. A willingness to let go of who you were at 30 and discover who you are at 60. Together with curiosity, without shame, without the script that was never really yours to begin with. Where to actually begin? I know that all of this sounds wonderful in theory, but sometimes what people need is a practical first step. Something real and doable that they can try before the video even ends. So here are 5 entry points, one for each level of readiness. If you are starting from complete disconnection, begin with non-sexual touch only. Before anything else, reintroduce the habit of physical affection that has nothing to do with sex. Hold hands during a walk. Sit together on the couch with his arm around you. Give a 10-minute back rub with no expectation of anything else. Let your bodies remember what it feels like to be close without the weight of performance. Do this for 1 week before trying anything else. If you are ready for a conversation, sit down together. Not in the bedroom, not at night when you are both tired, and say this. I have been thinking about how we can feel closer to each other. Can we talk about what we both want? That sentence alone has opened more doors in struggling marriages than any technique I have ever shared. If you are ready for a change of environment, plan a shower together this week. Not as an experiment, not as a therapy exercise, just as something you want to do. Keep the water warm, put a non-slip mat down, move slowly, let what happens happen, and let what does not happen simply not happen. The absence of pressure is the point. If you are ready to expand your definition, the next time you are intimate, agree in advance that the goal is pleasure and closeness, not orgasm, not intercourse necessarily, not any specific outcome. Simply 2 people choosing to be physically present with each other for 30 minutes, with full permission to go wherever feels good and stop whenever feels right. Give yourselves that freedom just once and notice what it opens. If you are ready for the full journey, stay with this channel because what I share week after week is a cumulative education, building blocks that taken together create an intimate life that is richer, more honest, and more deeply satisfying than most couples have ever experienced. You do not need to arrive anywhere in one video. You just need to keep showing up. Before I let you go, I need you to do something for me. If any part of what I shared today landed for you, if you heard yourself in this, if you recognized your husband in this, if something shifted even slightly in the way you think about intimacy, please leave a comment. Tell me what resonated. And if this video helped you, share it. Send it quietly to a friend. Send it to your sister. Send it to your husband. You never know which conversation you might start that changes everything for someone else. Subscribe if you have not already. New content every week. Real conversations, real research, no shame. And one more thing. I have been working on something that I believe is going to completely change the game for couples watching this channel. A complete program that takes everything I know, everything from fixing the physical foundations to the techniques that make a man exceptional in the bedroom after 60, to how to bring both partners into the same level of desire, and pieces it together into one clear, guided journey from beginning to end. No scattered information, no try this and hope, a complete roadmap designed for couples exactly like you. I made a full video about it, and that video is pinned in the comments below and linked in the description. Go watch it after this. If today's video opened a door for you, that video is what is waiting on the other side. I'm Dr. Julia Rhodes. I'll see you on the next one.